You know those moments when life hands you something so big it could completely knock you off course? Well, what if instead of staying stuck or off course, you could actually use it to rise even higher? In today's conversation with Tanya Lynn Scott, we talk about truth, we talk about trauma, and turning your pain into purpose. She is real, she is wise, and she holds nothing back. Welcome to the Be Unmessablewith Podcast. I'm your host, Josselyne Herman-Saccio, and I am so excited about my guest today. We're just meeting on the podcast, but we have a very dear mutual friend. And this woman is a trailblazing mentor. She's a business coach with more than 30 years experience in coaching and teaching all around the world. She's a coach and a trainer with Anthony Robbins for 24 years, and she really excels at seeing the authentic truth in others and guiding them to their full potential, which I love. She's speaking my language. Her motto is centered on creating goodness inside and out through her work and interactions with others. And I just want to welcome to the podcast, Tanya Lynn Scott. Welcome.
Thank you, Josselyne. You're such a doll. I appreciate it.
And just tell us, but first of all, that was the briefest introduction with somebody for such a vast career. So tell us a little bit about your journey, how you ended up doing what you're doing. And, I'm always so fascinated to find out how people become coaches, given, that's what I do also. So tell us about you.
So my journey began when I was in second grade, on the playground. I went around and giving people advice. And then I decided I'm going to charge people 25 cents to, get advice. So Lucy was my role model.
I was going to say, it's like a Charlie Brown moment,
right? Was totally Lucy. I was totally Lucy. And then in the fifth grade, finally it all caught up to me in fifth grade because I was making a lot of money. And they were like, you can't charge students, classmates money. I'm like, oh, boo-hoo. So that ended. And then I decided to, I had to take summer school, which was like, oh my gosh, the death of me. And it was the best blessing because I got to do psychology and, that sort of work. And one of the assignments was for us to watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Okay, so I'm really dating myself a little bit. And I said, my God, I love this field. I just was so enamored with it. So then off to college I go. And did I study any psychology? Did I study any of that? No. So I went into business. I didn't really like that. And then I became a teacher, which was great. So I taught school. And then fast forward, I worked for Coca-Cola, a very small company, as you guys probably know, for a very, very long time, in which everybody would come into my office. We could give them advice, et cetera. Now I'm a district sales manager. So, I have my own tribe to work with. Right. But everybody came in, no matter what their level was. And then one day, I started dressing people for success, right? Because, the managers came to me and said, hey, we need you to dress people for success because they don't really know how to dress. And I went out there and I was out there dressing people for success with my colleagues. And what I noticed is that they didn't have self-esteem. They didn't know what to wear. They didn't really like themselves very much, et cetera. So I start talking to them about, the mindset. You've got to believe, you've got to know, and what's your style, what do you like, what don't you like? And then that morphed into one of my colleagues said, hey, listen, I'll hire you. Just like that. I
hope for more than 25 cents. Inflation, after all.
After all. And so that began my journey. And then I decided I am going to be the best of the best. I just in my mind, I'm working for Coca-Cola. I'm going to be the best of the best. Who is that out there? So I went to Dale Carnegie and Jim Rohn and Tony and a whole lot of, John Maxwell, you name it. I've been certified by them. I just went on this massive journey and I became a master certified coach. I was one of those that was grandfathered in. That goes to show you a long time ago, but I'm not grandfathered in anymore. I'm still, having to do the certification and everything else. But that really is my journey, is that it was just in me to really help people know and experience their true self. Because a lot of times, and I know in my life, I was pretending to be somebody to be accepted, right? And through really owning your own self-confidence, knowing your own authority, understanding your authority. That's the path I went on, is to help people do that.
Amazing. And you've been doing it for more than 30 years. So obviously something stuck.
Crazy. It's crazy. It's like my mentors are getting old. I'm like, wow, you guys are you know what I mean?
I hear you. My mentor is like 89 years old, and I'm just kind of like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now it's us. Now we're the ones.
It's true. And that's what a joy to be able to mentor people that want to make this kind of difference. There's nothing better than being a coach, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, my life's work. So I get you,
Yes,
completely. Yes. So given this podcast is called Be Unmessable With, it really, one of the things I like to ask people is, in a situation in your life where it was really difficult circumstances, because when I talk about being unmessable with, I don't mean being tough. I mean being able to, in the face of any circumstance, stay in the world of creation and fulfilling your dreams rather than getting knocked down for the count or hooked or just kind of giving up. So is there something in your life that you could share with us that was just really tough and, you could have easily gone down for the count, but somehow, and we'll talk about how, you were able to rise above it or transcend it to be able to fulfill on a vision and what I call be unmessable with in the face of it?
Yes. So it was in my childhood. It was 2 days before my 15th birthday. My dad was a very famous football player. And he came home just to sign divorce papers with my mom. And it turned tragic. So my mom basically murdered my dad in front of me 2 days before my 15th birthday. And that really started the path of me just had something inside me turn like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
Something is wrong. So I went into a protection mode. There were 6 of us, my family, and 6 of us. So I became the mom and all that. My mom, she was the first woman acquitted from in the United States of I guess she was a battered wife. It's what they had. So she got off. She was acquitted, and there was all this rage and everything else. When OJ's situation came up, it was like that was our life all over again. That was me all over again, and I felt for those kids because I was kids. Anyway, so the unmessable was for me. It's like, oh my gosh, I went into protection. I went into fight. I went into, okay, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to protect my family and my own sanity, right? And I wouldn't tell anybody anything. I just went into, and that there was this thing. I was a happy child anyway, always very positive, but I went overly on that. And so I just had this thing inside me. But let me just say, I was dealing with a lot of darkness.
Yes.
Because it's like, where do I fit? I mean, there were a lot of things. My mom's, murdered my dad. We live in a affluent area. How do I explain this to me? Who am I? That whole identity piece. We changed, it's just all of that. And through all of it, though, it's like, I just didn't focus on me. I just focused on everybody else. That's really the key, is what I did. Then further on, it's like, wait, I'm such a people pleaser. What about pleasing me? What about me? Where am I in all of this? And as much goodness and as much greatness as I was giving out there, I was a bank that people just kept taking withdrawals from. And I was happy. I had plenty of energy and whatever. And then it's like, wait, what about deposits? It should be like this. Your hands give, receive. And it wasn't like that for a lot of people in my life. And I woke up to the fact that, you know what, I need to start taking care of myself. And I will tell you, that was the most and the toughest job I have ever done in my life, is to take care of me and understand my needs and my wants and who I am. and be really okay with it. Really, in corporate America, in my own business, in my own family. Like, can I be okay with who I am? Am I enough? And some of my teachers, like Brene Brown, love her, right? Courage. You got to have, dare to have courage to be vulnerable. And vulnerability, never. You kidding? That's not.
Well, when you deal with something like that, I mean, I've, obviously, as you have for so many years, dealt with people who have dealt with traumatic situations like that, you go into that protective mode. So it's like vulnerability is almost, it's not, oh, be vulnerable. It's like, oh, die. Like to be vulnerable is equivalent of just, why don't I just chop myself into pieces, because that's not allowed in that reaction mode of survival. And for a young brain, like, 15, 14 years old, I mean, I can't even fathom what that would be like to have to now lead the family. But how many years was it before you woke up to that, I've got to get some deposits and take care of myself? How old were you then?
My 30s, like 35, 40, really, yeah, seriously. And so what helped me was helping other people. What helped me to say, what is the pattern? What do people come into me for? They come to me because they are people pleasers. No matter, I have billionaires and I have people that are millionaires and others, right? And every one of them, the thing that they have is like they are not being their authentic self.
So your life's a full-length mirror. There you go. You spotted it. You got it. So
exactly. And here's you cannot teach or take anybody anywhere that you have not already been. Period.
Yep.
Not on the level that we're working. Right. And so my experience, my wisdom, and what have you. And listen, if you knew me 20 years ago, I'm certainly not some of it is me and real, but the others, I'm just like fine wine. Right? I'm like fine wine. I know what I know. I could get what used to take me an hour and a half to get to results with clients now takes me 15, 20 minutes. Boom.
Yep.
We're like laser.
That's what mastery looks like. I mean, that's like a chef. You watch somebody that in the beginning, they're making a cheesecake. It's like a science experiment for like hours. And then, once they have enough muscle, it's like and simple. And that's the beauty of mastery, that there's no top to that mountain.
So our relationships, like our parents are big relationships, right? Our husband or significant others are big relationships. And when you examine through coaching, through mentoring, through training, so forth, when you really examine your role and how you're being, and you come up short, this is when you wake up to the fact that I need help. And so because I'm strong, I'm A, as they say, personality says, I don't need anybody's help. I can do it myself. I have all this. I have all these certificates and I have this and that, because I thought to be accepted in the world, I needed to have all these degrees and what have you. And then, one of my clients said, man, you are one school's, coach. Do you ever just take time out to just enjoy life? I was like, I thought that's what I needed to do. I thought I needed to have more information. I thought I needed to be good. No. People want to know your heart. People want to know that you get them, that you understand them, and you can help them navigate what I call hacks.
Yes, I call them hacks too. That's so funny.
Queen of hacks. Yeah, I'm a queen of hacks, man. No matter, I'm a queen of hacks in a way that serves, not takes, right? So there you go. So but I was saying that you got to learn. Yeah, you got to learn. You got to learn, first of all, where am I in my relationships? Are they healthy? Are they not healthy? What do I need to do about that? So the thing for me is like taking 100% responsibility for me, myself, and I, period. Right? And so many times, and a lot of us and people that are listening to this, you have the answers. You're in your lane, and then you go over to somebody else's lane. This is all Byron Katie's work, right? You go over to somebody else's lane. Let me help you. I have all this. I have all these things. Oh, wait a minute. Let me play God. God says, and I can do that. So you're in 3 different lanes. You're supposed to only stay in your lane. What can you do? What is your responsibility? And that was a big lesson. That was a big aha. Like, wow. And such freedom comes from that. Because I don't go out now and like, will you like me? Will you not like me? Will you hire me? You won't hire me? I'm good.
Right. It's also, I think that comes somewhat with age. I have found, my mentor, who's, as I said, is like 89 years old. One of the things she told me when she was 70, I said to her, what's your biggest lesson? Like, what do you want to like save me some time? Just tell me, what are like the things you've learned? One is, she said, don't wear heels. That's what she told me. And I was like, okay, that's it on the heels for me, because I was like, I'm going to listen to her. Whatever she says, I do. And the other was, when you get to a certain age, what's so great is you don't really care if people like you. You know they don't. And who cares? So let's just get on with it. And that just was so freeing. It's like,
so
that's right. People are going to have an opinion about you, just like you have an opinion about everything and everyone, just automatically. It's not you having an opinion. It's just automatic brain patterns that just kick in, and you're just off to the races.
Here's the difference. One of the reasons we're all psyched or being psyched is because we think other people own who we are, or we live for other people's opinion. And Wayne Dyer is like, if I had $1 for every opinion people had of me, I'd be filthy rich, right? So, but we're not. The only opinion that actually matters is you, what you believe, who you are, and how you serve. I think the other side of that, though, also is it's about being of generosity and heart.
One of the things I found, Tanya, as you're sharing it, it reminds me of, epiphanies that people have. It's not what people say to you, because people say all sorts of stuff to people, right? They say good things, they say bad things, and there's plenty of people that you've worked with, I'm sure, and that I've worked with, that people tell them all the time how wonderful they are, but they have self-doubt, right? Or people tell them they're horrible, but they don't, it doesn't get on them. So when someone says something to you, what really impacts you isn't what they say, it's what you say about what they say. So if somebody says you're stupid, but you don't have a doubt about your intelligence, it's kind of like, okay, whatever they think is whatever, and it doesn't get on you. But if somebody says you're stupid and you have some doubt about your prowess and intellect, you're hookable, you're messable with, as I would call it, because anything you're not complete with is messable with material, So one of the things I'm sure you do, but how do you work with people to get unhookable, like deal with all those things, their opinions about themselves, and have those be complete, as it were, so that they're not hookable?
Word is control. So the culprit is control, the false illusion that they're in control of other people's opinion, or that the opinion that they have of themselves, they have no control of changing. So when they were little, they were told you're stupid, so they bought into that lie. So they control and they do everything possible to make sure they're not stupid. Either they overproduce or they underproduce.
Or they come up with 15 certifications or whatever it is, right? To prove I know what I'm doing, right? We all have our things.
Exactly. So it's how people get awareness for where they are at, and really managing that word control. It comes from that, right? Because, again, what you say to yourself, you become. I know people don't really get that, but it's, especially over and over and over again, or they heard somebody, but, this is the other thing, again, like parents and, our friends or, significant others, if you, over time, you hear the same pattern over, you start to believe it. And that's the challenge. So one of the things that I have people do is really look at, okay, who's in control and what do you really, really want instead? What's really going on? What is the cause? What is the root cause of that control? Where did that come from? Right? And, so we delve into those beliefs. It really comes down to people's beliefs and their rules on how they think their lives need to be. Yeah.
And what's
that's what I would say. So yeah,
you rely on to get you out of those kind of hooks, because as I can't imagine you wouldn't agree with me. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have or how many people you've coached. Everybody gets messed with from time to time, whatever it is that, it's just how quickly can you shift over from being, hooked to being unhooked. But what do you use for yourself to rise and transcend whatever difficult circumstances you might be dealing with at any given time?
Okay, so for the listeners, you will get messed with every single day, whether it's with an event, whether it's with your own mindset, whether it's with somebody, you're going to get messed with, right? So understand that. Going in, okay, for me, what I do is like, I know I'm going to get messed with.
Yep.
It's just, what do I want to do with it? And how am I going to process it? So some things I take in and I go, okay, what's really happening here? What do I need to do in this very moment? Stop, process. Is this mine? Is this somebody else's? Or I also say, if it's mine, then what do I get to do? One, for me, I must have my music. I go to music, period. I go to music. I go to music or I go to comedy. And the fact that, I love YouTube and all those
podcasts and
podcasts. I could just laugh. Okay, thank you very much. Have my laugh attack. I have a laugh attack actually every day for at least 20, 25 minutes minimum. So me and my son, I think this was a while ago, a long time ago, we said, okay, every day, every time we get on the phone, we at least have to laugh, at least have a chuckle. Every single time I talk to him, no matter if it's good news or icky news, we're always laughing. So laughter is another, but it's really, it's like, how important is this now? What do I need to do? What do I need to learn from it? It's just, asking myself very powerful questions to keep me out of that ugh. Now, sometimes I do go in the ugh, and it's longer than I'd hope, because when I find out, then I'm trying to control somebody else. And then when I decide, I can't control other people's mind, body, spirit, and their faculties. It's not my business, to be honest. What is my business is how I allow you to affect me. It's my choice. We get to choose. And that's what I help people. That's what I coach people with.
Yeah.
But stop giving your power away. Stop giving your authority to somebody else. What for what? And then you do it, and then what comes back? Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
Exactly. It's like, what? But, when you say control, I have a different terminology for it, but I say there's say. It's like you have the say in how you respond to any situation. And, you don't have a say necessarily over the circumstances, because things happen. And, you get sued, or your mother has a stroke, or, your husband loses his job, or your father gets, your father gets murdered. So those things happen. It's not like you're responsible for that, like blame, or it's your fault. It's more that you have a say over how you are in the face of any circumstance. I mean, no matter what someone else does, I get to say what kind of human being I am. Yes. And when you give up that say or control over who you are to a reaction, to something external, it's so sad to me, because it's not necessary. It really is like you can develop the muscle to have the say at all times over who you are in your life, no matter what, and with whoever.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's, I think, the most freeing thing. I don't know. For me, that's what I'd love for everybody to have, is the say in their life.
They do have the say. The thing about the say is making sure the say is supporting you.
Yes, sometimes you're saying stuff that messes with you. Exactly, right?
Exactly. Right. So we do all have the say. We do.
Always. It goes how you say.
Right. And it is about that. For us, for the listeners, the biggest thing is, when you get up in the morning, what are the questions that you're asking yourself? Is there a routine that you have? Whether it's picking up the phone, whether it's listening, for me, it's listening to gospel, it's, doing my prayers and what have you, or journaling for me. But what is it that is for you? What do you do? That is what starts setting you up for success. You choose. Or you could get up in the day and just start running. Okay. It's just those sort of things. I mean, some of the simplest things that I learned over time is like, make your bed.
My husband he would be clapping you right now.
Who would?
He'd be clapping for you, my husband. He loves to make it. He comes from like military boarding school background where he made his bed, he laid out his clothes. They were all in like color order, and
Yes. But there is a science to it because it brings order, brings structure. Same thing probably, but and that's it. But people would, and they go in, it's like, oh,
I'm just getting back in it anyway later, why make it if I'm just getting back in it?
Well, that's true. Now that's a whole different thing. But it really, our routines are very important. So like for me, when I was discovering, oh my God, I'm such a people person, my routine was all about everybody else. I was most people are externally focused. What our job is to help you get internally focused so that you can master that external. So it's not, it gets to be what you want it to be and how you want it to be.
Yeah. And creating those practices or that turn into routines is so critical because you create it with your word. And then if you honor your word, it's like you get power. Every time you create something and fulfill on it, it's like more, your battery is getting higher and higher on the digital battery thing. You get more and more power to create with your word, including intimacy in your marriage or doubling your business or whatever you want to create. If you can't wake up in the morning and do a 5-minute meditation because you said so, how are you going to double your business? It's just not real,
Yes. So you bring up something very good, which is the topic of, this comes from Don Luis Miguel, the 5 agreements. It's now 5 agreements, but when we studied it way back when, it's 4 agreements.
Yes.
Right. And the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Mm-hmm. For me, I was like, no, if I do, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And I really knew I was going to be there in 5 minutes, So be impeccable with your word. When you are not, nothing really works well. Nothing. So part of the coaching, part of awareness is, again, it's about, okay, are you impeccable with your word? We had this conversation. You're going to hire us. You want us to do this. Okay, let's go. Well, I don't know. Now you're negotiating. Okay, that's okay if that's how you want to have your entire life. But number 1 is teaching or helping coaching people through step number 1, which is being impeccable with your word. I mean, that right there is like golden.
That's if you only did that, when I say be unmessable with, I mean, really your word is unmessable with. That's what I'm talking about. And most people, they're pretty good when they give their word to someone else, like especially highly successful people, which are the kind of people mostly that we coach, right? But giving your word to yourself, you'll sell out on yourself in 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
That's the same thing we're talking about the self-care and the deposits. It's like you have to deposit into the battery of your own word to yourself so that you have power to create and manifest whatever it is you're envisioning in your life, your career, your marriage, whatever, the world. Because that's the mode. That's the paintbrush is word. So if you don't have that available to you, and people really spend a whole lot of time justifying, well, it's only, I said it would be 100 sit-ups, so I did 90. It's enough. I said I'd take the garbage out at 7. It's 7:10. What's the big deal? But it's everything matters because it's not what you give your word to. It's your word that is the gold.
So what's interesting about that whole concept is that in what we've noticed what I've noticed in practice is this. Well, my spouse didn't keep his word and this, that. And so you're all in their business and everybody else, the whole world didn't keep their word. The airlines isn't on time. They didn't do this. It's all this I didn't. Right? Okay. So whenever that comes up more than once in your life, you got to ask yourself, where am I out of integrity with my own word? And you're going to find you didn't keep your word on a whole bunch of other things. And this is really part of the framework that I work under, which is awareness. What is going on? Then second A is, accepting what's going on. And the third A is taking appropriate action to make things different. That's the framework. So for us, it's a lot for us. It's like, what is really going on with people? And that's what I said, It's like really meeting people where they're at and understanding that you get what they need already, and that we have a great roadmap to help them with so many tools. It's crazy, the tools that we have, and our job is to launch and help people get there quicker.
And what's something you could tell people, like, just do this one thing starting today that they could just start taking action on that would really make a difference for them in the quality of their life?
Say yes to you. Period. There's lots of times you want to say no. It's not really works for you. Okay, if I need to do something a little different. No. Say yes to you more often. When you do this, you start recognizing, you start taking back your authentic voice. You start getting stronger. You start recognizing what's really drawing you away from what your core message is or what you're supposed to be doing. The distractions become less. I'm saying, when you say yes to you, it's fantastic. One of my favorite movies is, I have lots of them, but one is called Yes, with Jim Carrey.
Oh, the Yes Man. Oh, I saw that. Yes, I love that movie.
Love that. It's like, and I practiced that. I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to say yes, yes, yes. Authentically. Yes, I will. Yes, I will be impeccable with my work. Yes. So say yes to you is what I would say.
That's beautiful. I love that. Say yes to you. And for those of you listening, it's like, notice when you're saying no, because part of the first step of being able to say yes is to see how many no's are there. And we're so many times an automatic no, and you don't even see it. So start to bring awareness to the no's so you can bring some yeses to your life and some new opportunities, new actions that'll produce new results. I love that so much. And I know you have something that you want to give people who are listening or watching, like something that you have to offer people. What is that you want to give people?
Yes. Before we go there, what I want to say about the yes thing, can we do that real quick? Is that
yes, we can. I'm coachable. Yes.
When you notice the no saying yes is your no. Get it? You saying yes is your no.
Mm-hmm.
No to requests that make no sense. Or did I say that right? What, you know what I mean, right? That's it. Your yes is your no. Your yes is for yesing for you and making your life more extraordinary. Yeah. So that's it.
I love that. I love that.
My offer is listen, it doesn't matter if it's me or beautiful Josselyne. Get help, right? And my offer to you is that I'd love to work with you, love to at least explore and find out where, there might be some synergies that I can help you, be better and so forth. So there'll be a link here for you. You'll have a complimentary session for 30 minutes, which I really don't do complimentary, but because this is a podcast, we're going to do that.
Oh, that's so wonderful. How generous. Thank you.
No worries. And then on top of that, you can go on my website and do a few assessments of some value for you and share them with your family. Because listen, this is you're not by yourself. This is a collaborative effort, right? And so that's my invitation for you is to say yes to you, whether you as myself or Josselyne, find the help, right? That's going to help you be your best self. And I know we're already skilled and ready to take you on. So we say yes. We say yes. Let's go. That's my offer.
I love it. I love it. And, we'll have all the links to everything you're talking about for your website, for the assessments, all in the show notes. And I so appreciate you taking the time to do this. Oftentimes the guests on this show are all like people I've known for years and people, that are my friends and colleagues. But you said yes with no content. It was just kind of like invitation, and yes, I was like, who is this person on my calendar? And then I realized our connection. I was like, this is so great. So I love that you said yes, because who knows what we'll be able to create together. And I know there will be a lot of things that we are going to create together. But thank you so much for the difference you're making for people and for your presence.
Well, thank you, my love. Like-minded, there's no question. There are no mistakes. Wake up to, this whole, what you're doing Be unmessable. I love that term. It's like, stop the madness. You get to decide, right? There will be mess, but you get to make it better.
But how quickly can you get out of it and get to the space of creation is sort of the point. Because, it's not a problem to get hooked. It's just getting the hook out if you're a fish. I mean, it's a bad analogy. I don't know. I probably won't use that again.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Love it. I'm all about metaphors, right?
Oh, okay.
Let's paint the picture.
We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun when I have so many things that then end up breaking down towards the end, but they start out good. You can kind of get it. The fish thing I'll work on. But thank you again for being on the show. And for those of you listening, pleasure. If you liked this episode, if you found something that you resonated with, if you got any piece of value in it, please rate and review the episode below and share this episode with anybody that you want to make a difference with, that's somebody who wants to accomplish something, and, they can take advantage of the free offer also, which is so generous. And, this is not somebody who needs more times to talk to people. This is an offer. So say yes to finding out what could resonate with you working with Tanya. And we will see you on the next episode of Be Unmessable With.
Okay, what landed for you in this one? Seriously, if something opened up for you, just mention it in the comments below. And if you love a good quiz, make sure to take my 3-minute Unmessable with Archetype quiz. And not only will you get your archetype, but you'll get a roadmap onto how to up-level your game no matter where you're at. And if you're ready for more, the next video is waiting for you. So watch it now, and I'll see you there.